Good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome to our global community of educators. Thank you very much for joining us from wherever you are in the world, whether it's from your classroom or your living room or somewhere in between. We're very glad to have you here with us. Today's webinar is called What We Have in Common, Motivating Young People, Stories from Classrooms Around the World. And that's exactly what we'll be exploring. It'll be the shared challenges, creative strategies, and inspiring stories from teachers working in very different places, but with one thing in common, which is a deep commitment for engaging and motivating the learners in front of them. Over the next about 75 minutes, you will be hearing firsthand experiences from some incredible educators from Bahrain to Belgium, from the US to Greece, and how tools like Quizalize and Marvelly are helping them re-spark curiosity and personalized learning in their contexts. We will also be hearing from Charles Wiles, the founder of Zish and the creator, who will kick us off shortly with a few reflections on why we built these tools in the first place. If you do have any questions or any thoughts as we go along, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We'll have time for a Q&A later in the session. And do stay with us until the end for a quick sneak peek at some of the new features in Marvelly and some details on how to become part of our global ambassador community for the next academic year. We'll also have a panel discussion with everyone. So again, feel free to add your questions and your thoughts in the chat in the meantime. But we will be getting started now. We'll let Charles kind of give us a bit of an opening inspiration to this webinar and tell us why he's here and why he's created Zish. So, Charles, over to you.
Hello, and yes, I don't know, can you see me, or are you looking at that picture of me doing a presentation? It's probably better if you can see me. I can see the picture presentation, but maybe you can see me. I don't know. So yes, welcome. I'm Charles. I'm the CEO and founder of Zish. I started Zish way back in 2013, 2014, quite a long time ago. But it's been a really exciting 12 years. Now, apparently I'm supposed to be giving you opening inspiration, but what I can tell you is that the 4 speakers we've got coming are 100 times more inspirational than me. In fact, they inspire me. Magdalene, Carolina, Jan, and Mohammed, they are truly inspiring people. So I think don't take any inspiration from me. Wait until you talk to them. In fact, I must say that Carolina, when I first met her 10 years ago in Austin, Texas, I think it was, at a conference, she really gave me the boost I needed in those early days to know that we were onto something important and good. So I'm eternally grateful for that. Magdalene never stops helping with things, for our biggest supporter over the years. So they're the true inspiration. But let me just tell you a little bit very quickly about why I started Zish and built Quizalize. Well, it all started for me, as I said, about 12 years ago. I'd done my PhD in AI at Oxford, and I was working for Google as one of their product managers in the UK. In fact, I helped build the very first version of the Android operating system, and I was sitting in my office at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a notification from my daughter that it was my turn to play a quiz game against her on our mobile phones. And I just thought at that time, well, wouldn't it be great if I was playing a maths game against my daughter, or a science game, or a English game? And I thought, well, my daughter's actually doing really well at school, but my son, he's really struggling. It turned out that he had an undiagnosed at that time reading and writing difficulty. I mean, there are many children who really struggle at school, not because they lack the intellect, but because they have some special education need that isn't being served. And he had absolutely amazing teachers at schools. They were really genuinely wonderful teachers, but they just didn't have the time to give everybody the personal help they need, right? And I'm sure many of you can resonate with that. You've got so many children you've got to help, you just don't have time. And I just had that moment where I thought, well, what about if we turn taking tests in the classroom into a fun game, right? Because my son loves games, right? And I love games. I'm a big gamer. I don't know if any of you have tried the Blockers game, but I wrote the code for Blockers over my Christmas holiday about 3 years ago. I didn't have to have any meetings with my team. I thought, I've got 2 weeks. Can I build a great game? So I built blockers. You know, my son was a big Minecraft fan, so I thought I'd build blockers. I thought, let's turn taking tests into just a fun game, but let's give teachers the data off the back of that so that they can make those decisions in the classroom on how to help different children in different ways. And it's not just about telling the teacher which questions they got right or wrong. We really wanted to focus on what were the learning objectives from the standard or the curriculum, and given teachers insight into that. And we did our very first version of this 8 or 9 years ago. I mean, actually, Carolina was one of the very first people to try it out in her classrooms. And I remember her telling me about how she put stations in different parts of the classrooms, and depending on where different children were struggling, they were going to those different stations. And then it was really making a difference. And so here we are all these years later, continuing on that mission to continue to make Quizalize better and better. Of course, now we have the wonders of AI that allow us to do things like create quizzes instantly. And we've also, as many of you will know, if you're a user, we've now got AI written feedback in the product. And we think that's really transformational too, because according to the Education Endowment Foundation, which is a British think tank that looks at student progression, giving children timely written and verbal feedback is one of the most important and significant things you can do to accelerate their progress. But it's so hard, isn't it, to find the time to give each one the personal feedback that they need. So, and do they look at, you can show them their quiz results, but do they bother to look at them and see what they got wrong and have a look at them again? So being able to turn it into very concise and straightforward, a couple of paragraphs, giving them feedback on their quiz, we think is really, really valuable. Right. Well, that's me. You've done a little bit about why I started Zition, and how we work super hard. My team works super hard every day to keep on developing it, keep on making it better and better. But I think it's time to hand over to the first of our amazing ambassadors and teachers. So yes, I can't remember who's going first. Who's it first?
I'll take it from here. Thank you very much, Charles. Really appreciate your words and your kind words towards us. Yeah, flattering. But yeah, so moving forward, we will be hearing from each one of our panel. We've asked them a few questions about a few topics around the teaching realities and some of the challenges, solutions, and successes you can see in the classroom. So how they deal with motivation engagement in the classroom, what tools that they use, what results come from that, and what kind of considerations or thoughts they have about the future of the classroom. So we're going to be handing over to Carolina Karner next.
Hello from Texas, everybody. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you today about my journey with Quizalize. When I was first at South by Southwest EDU and I had a chance to see the teacher dashboard, that immediately made me so excited about this program. I was spending hours and hours of my time trying to differentiate for my students within the classroom, having them do like pre-assessments or post-assessments, and then having to hand grade everything, because this was like 9 years ago when I first saw Quizalize in action and I saw the teacher dashboard. And when I saw that dashboard, I knew that it was going to make my life easier. And being able to get that immediate feedback from my students, and then being able to put my students into different groups so that I could be able to access them and help them with that immediate feedback, grow in their learning, was something that caught my attention immediately when I saw the program. Some of the challenges that we've always faced in the classroom is we have so much to cover in such a short period of time. And I want to be able to know where my kids are at after I do a lab or an activity in the classroom immediately. And this program, if I have some guiding questions that I can just put into the computer, if I want to see if they can master some sort of content with a rigorous test question, I can have those already put into Quizalize, and then I can give that to my students in a fun and engaging way, because it tricks them into, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. They don't even know that I'm getting this data from them playing this game really fast. It's all about competition, and they get to play like the soccer game, and they're looking at the goals and they're so engaged. But I get to turn that around and look at, okay, so how are my students really doing with the content? Did I do my best job with teaching this? Was I targeted enough towards what they were supposed to be learning? And if I see that there are a couple of kids that are struggling while they're engaged in this game, I can actually pull them, provide them with immediate feedback so they can continue to move on and grow with their learning with the rest of their class. What have I done to motivate my students with Quizalize? Just making sure that they have those opportunities to play the game. It could be like at the beginning of the class period with a do now or warm up to get that feedback. We've done something the previous day. I want to check to see how they're doing. Give them that opportunity with Quizalize. I could do like a great 5 to 10 minute segment at the beginning of the class period. Have the differentiation built in, because with Quizalize, you can do activities that are leveled based off the data. So I could have my students do a small extension activity to kind of hold them in place. It acts like another teacher in the classroom, and they can grow in their learning. Or I could pull a small group really fast at the beginning of the class period. That's one thing that I really love about the program. It motivates them to continue learning at all times based on where they're at, so I can work with them. And then I can regain come back together as a class and work together with them as a whole again after I've caught up. And then what results do I see? I see my students learning more, growing more in their content. And where do I see this going in the future? With the AI feedback, it really is like another teacher in the classroom. And I know I'm talking a lot, but I have so much to say. It's like another teacher in the classroom. That feedback, even if I can't get to them immediately, it can give them that feedback immediately. And I can't wait to learn more about Marvelly and how it can help like all of my students, but especially my emergent bilingual students here in Texas. Quizalize is the same way. It's that immediate feedback to grab them and help them right where they're at in that moment to grow them in their English and in instruction for content areas. And it can be used in any content area. So there you go. That's Carolina and how much she loves Quizalize.
Thank you very much, Carolina. You've raised some very interesting points that I would like to touch up when we have the panel discussion. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we will be moving over to Jan. Jan, please take the scene.
Hello. Welcome from Belgium. The temperature is now 22 degrees and it's still going up the next days. This is just like the Eurovision Song Contest. I give 12 points for Quizalize.
Great.
Okay. My name is Jan Blijner and I'm a teacher at the St. Franciscus Institute in Melle. It's near Ghent in Belgium. I teach students aged 13 to 15 years in the second year of a secondary school. I work with 8 classes, about 150 pupils in total. We have a great and wonderful IT team at school, and they help me making the program. At the end of the previous trimester, just before the Easter examinations, I wanted to give my students a meaningful and motivating way to end the term. So I looked for an interesting English language video related to my subject with Dutch subtitles, because in my school they speak Dutch. To make sure they stayed focused during the video, I created a quiz using Quizalize. This quiz was linked to the video and it counted towards to their report card, which was very important for me. And the result, a completely different classroom atmosphere. My students were motivated, concentrated, and competitive. They didn't just watch passively, they paid close attention because they knew the quiz mattered. Thanks to the game-like format of Quizalize, the energy in the room was amazing. It was a focused, creative, and full of healthy competition. Everyone wanted to win. For me, Quizalize was the perfect tool to combine fun, assessment, and motivation in one lesson. That's it.
Thank you very much, Ian. That was lovely, and we appreciate the kind words. I am very jealous about the weather. I think we all would wish we'd be outside right now, but taking the time to help teachers. But thank you very much. So moving forward, we have Magdalene in Greece, which I'm going to assume is a little bit warmer than that.
A lot warmer than that. It's warm and sunny. Hope you have the chance to visit us. Well, I live in a actually a small town or a big village called Koutopodi near his ancient Messina, you say, Mykonos. And I am the owner of a relatively small school, but we really, really love Quizalize. I have to be honest with you, the first platform I fell in love was Quizlet. And then 10 years ago, when I saw that Quizalize worked seamlessly with Quizlet, and the work that I had done there transformed and doubled and then tripled and multiplied now, that, made me use it consistently. The thing is that during the past decade, I've been creating, and I will continue to do so, about 6,000 quizzes, and my students have provided about 1 million. So, so you can understand how much I love Quizalize. And of course, I love each and every genie of the team. I call them my team of genies because whenever I ask them, I have an idea and I ask them for something, they provide, they deliver it. Now, at first, I used it just for extra practice for my students. And then I understood that apart from a formative assessment tool, it was much more. It gave my students the motivation they needed. They loved the very first game that they loved was hoops. And now I'm really happy that we have that again. And soccer's, of course. What I love about Quizalize is the fact that each and every student of mine, although we have small groups, as my school is a relatively small one, each and every student of mine has the opportunity to learn from their mistakes. That's magical, as Carolina said earlier. And Carolina has classes with many more students there. The immediate feedback, of course, is what I love. And the fact that it gives me the opportunity to instruct my students according to their performance. That's something that I really like. Another thing is that the quieter students opened up, and they were the ones that were afraid of making mistakes. By having Quizalize, by playing Quizalize games in class, they were able to be a part of our group, and they were not afraid of making mistakes. They were just playing, and while they were playing, they were learning, and they didn't understand that. And I had all the feedback I needed. And that was actually what helped our school to thrive in a way, because when young students sit exams, as two-level exams, at the age of 14 or something like that, I think that is an achievement for them. And yes, I'm in love with Quizalize and the team. I love Chrisille. She's an angel. She's at the help desk whenever I need something. When I have a question, when I am frustrated at night, Chrisille is there and she's always helping me. The help desk is fantastic. Quizalize also helped us because young children now are used to high stimulation due to their exposure to digital technology and to the use of phones and things like that. Quizalize helps us a lot. It is a tool we actually I insist on using in class and at home not only for extra practice, for assessment, for games in class. For me, is my genie in my lamp. So yes, I'm really grateful because my students. I'm really grateful that Charles came up with Quizalize, and the fact that I've been using Quizalize for the last decades, and the magnitude of my students' response says it all. Well, I didn't have to do anything in particular to motivate my students. They think that they want to play. So it's something that it comes naturally to them. And one thing that I would like to see in the future is, the use of adaptive learning. That's what I've been waiting for. And hopefully the team of my genies will deliver. That's all for me.
Thank you so much, Magdalene, for your kind words, first of all, and really interesting point about the adaptive learning. I'd love to pick your brain about that in a minute. So when we have the panel discussion, I'll ask about that. But again, fantastic. Thank you very much. So we will move on now to Mohammed. Mohammed obviously has put together an entire presentation. So Mohammed, at any point when you wanted me to move forward, just give me a thumbs up or say my name, and I'll move on to the next slide. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
First of all, good evening from Bahrain, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening everyone from wherever you are joining us. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much. Special thank you goes to the amazing team of Quizalize for having us today. So today I'll be sharing with you what we have in common regarding this amazing platform, which is Quizalize, and my journey and how I'm using this amazing platform with my students. First of all, I am an English teacher. I teach English. My students are from 12 to 15 years old. So I'm teaching in an intermediate school. So as an English teacher, I have some teaching challenges, some teaching difficulties, like my students' motivation. As you know that I'm teaching an English language. So my students' motivation and engagement are lower than expected. Many of them have got diverse learning styles, and as a teacher, I have got some limited resources that best help me deliver my content and teach my students in a better way. Also, you can imagine that classroom management, assessment, and feedback may be a waste of your time. Also, many of my students are coming from different cultures. That's why I tried very much to motivate my students for learning. So now, next slide. That's why I tried to only search for a new platform or an innovative way to deliver my content, to teach my students, to attract them, to take their learning to a highly new level in a meaningful and dynamic way. So I found the Quizalize, and Quizalize is an amazing platform that transforms your learning environment. It can transform any quizzes into an interactive games. You know that students are in love with games, as Dr. Charlie said. And by the way, we at Quizalize, and this is our CEO, the founder of this, Dr. Charlie's mission. We at Quizalize, we would love to help teachers like you deliver and personalize their teaching in your classroom to make a difference to each and every one of your students. That's why I tried to use Quizalize with my students, which is an online, fun, engaging learning platform. It's a positive ethic tool that allows me to connect better with all types of my students. That's why you know that I'm using so many different ethics tools, but what makes Quizalize so special from any other platform is that it has got 5 powerful features, which when come together it will give you the most powerful quiz that help you personalize your teaching. So it's a very unique platform, which is completely different from other platform. And these 5 powerful features make it so special. Next slide. What I love most about Quizalize, not only me, but my students as well, it can make my classroom more engaging, interactive, dynamic, and challenging than ever. My students are more willing to learn now than before, as they love games. They are in love with games. I can track my students' progress during the game at any time. I can see how they are progressing, who is improving, who is not, the areas of weaknesses, the areas of strengths, who is having some difficulties and what they are having difficulties with. I can create unlimited quizzes for any subject in any language in seconds with the power of AI, and this is a new powerful tool that you can use. You can save your time, you can save your precious efforts, you can create your quizzes in seconds. So with the power of AI, you can ask Quizalize to create a quiz for you. And even when creating this quiz, you can edit it when needed. You can check the questions and the answers. If you wish to edit, you can edit. Then you can assign it to your classroom. Even you can create your quizzes from scratch. And what is more important about Quizalize is that you can import your quizzes from different ethics tools and the platforms like Quizlet, like Google Forms, and more. And even you can export your Quizalize games to many ethics tools like Kahoot, like Blockit, like even quizzes and more. And in the future, I'm pretty sure that there will be more integration between Quizalize and other tech tools. Next slide. As I mentioned earlier, that the result of using Quizalize, you know that I'm using so many ethics tools, but regarding Quizalize, my students are in love with Quizalize to the extent that one of my students asked a teacher, we would love to play Quizalize every single day and every single lesson. It increased my students' motivation, enhanced their engagement, and increased their attendance and participation. It posted discussions inside our classrooms. It makes our learning classroom environment more engaging, more dynamic, more accessible to each and every one of my students. It created a positive classroom atmosphere. Also, it lowered their stress, their anxiety. It improved their academic performance, their levels of learning. Also, the learning outcomes of my students have been amazing. Regarding when talking about the listening skills and the reading skills, I can tell you a very important fact about my students when using Quizalize. Can you believe that Quizalize improved the outcomes of my students in reading and listening proficiency? More than 80% proficiency in reading and listening that in the classes that are using Quizalize, compared to less than 50% to my classes that didn't use Quizalize. So when we have a comparison between my classes that are using Quizalize and the other classes that didn't use Quizalize, you can see a wide gap between those classes when it comes to reading and listening proficiency. Can you imagine that I linked my classroom to other classrooms around the world without leaving our classrooms through Quizalize? We have been using, for me, I searched on YouTube videos and got the links, adding them and assigning them to various classes in my school. Regarding virtual field trips, regarding when it comes to celebrating our festive holidays, even global celebrations or our national days, I just only try to search for videos that are dealing with such celebrations and festive holidays, assigning it to different classes of mine. So they are watching these videos without leaving their classrooms. Also, this is a good way to improve their listening skills, to learn a new language. Can you imagine that? While creating your quizzes, you can activate the read aloud option, and you can select any different language from the list, from the drop-down list, so your students can learn new languages without having some guest speakers or without having courses in this language. Just only you can activate the read aloud option and select from the drop-down list the language. Maybe Spanish, maybe French, maybe German, maybe English, maybe even our native language, which is the Arabic. Then you can ask a Quizalize to read it aloud for your students. And this is so amazing about this. This is so amazing feature about Quizalize platform. Next slide. Also, I have some considerations for the future. You can imagine that for me, I would love to maximize my students' learning potential through the use of game-based learning experiences. So for me and my students, we love using the Quizalize every single day, because just only start using the Quizalize and you will see the magic, how this amazing platform can do for you as a teacher and for your students as young people. So what are you waiting for? Start using the Quizalize and let the magic begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. That was fantastic, and again, raised some really important points there, and really good to hear about, first of all, your passion towards your students and your, like you said, enhancing their learning experience and making sure that they get the most out of the time that you have with them in the classroom, but also the results that you shared, which were incredible. So really pleased. Thank you very much for that.
Something.
Now, sorry, of course.
Mohammed's statement is very important because he's a very prolific teacher and he uses a wide variety of other educational tools. By saying so, he gives, a vote of trust to Quizalize because he has been using a wide variety of other educational tools, and he knows better because he can see the differences and the similarities and what makes Quizalize,
so special,
important
unique
to our teachers.
I think
Thank you, Magdalena.
Charles is a person that really wants education to be as accessible as possible to everyone, and doesn't want to replace teachers, not even close to that. He wants to empower teachers, give them all the tools to make their jobs easier, and give them the time, free up their time to focus on their students rather than focus on admin stuff and building a quiz manually and so on. No, it's about making sure that, first of all, like Mohammed said earlier, each and every student and teacher should have access to this and be able to support their students and support their education, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say AI is a real transforming factor, and I do think we're going to see a lot more independent student learning, but that's a good thing, because it allows teachers more time to provide the help to where it is really needed, doesn't it? So when I think one of the things we haven't, hopefully I'm going to give a little bit of a demo of Marvelly soon, but with Marvelly, it's actually, unlike Quizalize, which really is a teacher first product and students can't use on their own, Marvelly students can use on their own. But unlike all the other language learning apps out there that are aimed at students, we think it's absolutely critical to keep the teacher in the loop, right? That actually this is a tool that is, helping teachers teach students. I think that's something which is really special about Marvelly. I mean, it's like, whether you've got Duolingo or Memrise or any of these other ones, they're really just student first experiences. And, maybe they have a very lightweight teacher UX or something. But, we really believe that teachers are still going to be at the heart of every classroom, no matter how AI progresses. AI is just going to be an enabler that helps teachers do more and more with less, I guess, but helps them do more and helps them make every child succeed.
Well, they will become facilitators in the future, and that will take some load of our shoulders. But we will be able to do more things, and we will be able to help each and every student of ours and be able to provide more.
Well, and actually, Amy was talking about this last Friday with us about, obviously for children to succeed, it's not just about helping them academically. A lot of them have emotional needs and challenges, with home life and other things. And, teachers are really important to be able to provide that support, aren't they? If you can support them with their emotional needs as well, then they can really excel. But most teachers just do not have the time to do that, do they? So I think it's very exciting. I think I think it's going to generally, and AI is going to be a wonderful enabler for teachers, and we all know how hard you guys work and how challenging it is. So I think there's a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, and I think one point that everyone briefly touched up on was the key to engaging young people today. And with social media and everything, the attention span has dropped ever so slightly. So my first question would be, from your experience, what does engagement look like in the classroom? And then how do we not confuse engagement with just pure entertainment? So how do you find that balance between keeping them having fun and enjoying being in the classroom, but also learning at the same time?
Yeah,
Can I go first? I'd love to go first. What I see with Quizalize, it allows students to know that you are invested in their learning. You get to jump in right then and there to help them if they're struggling with something. You can help grow them in that immediate moment instead of like going throughout several lessons and not knowing where they're at. They're past the point of frustration. It's not that point of productive struggle. It's past that. If you can't get to them and give them that immediate feedback, that helps to build their confidence right then and there, which I love. They feel more successful. Every single question that they get correct, they're just moving on to, an extension activity that I can provide them. But if they're struggling, it's okay to struggle. They know that I'm going to swoop right in, or with my teachers that I'm coaching now in the classroom, they know that their teachers will swoop right in and then help them get them where they need to be with fun and engaging things that you can put on the tail end of your quizzes. With the differentiation part of the platform is like one of the best features that Quizalize has to offer. So having students know that you care about them because you're constantly there with them makes them more engaged. I love the gaming part of it because it does get them to where they don't know that that's something that they're doing. You know what I mean? They're doing the learning and answering these questions so you can help them out. It's like a behind the scenes kind of thing, and I get that data. But just them knowing that they can learn and progress and move forward in their learning, and that I'm going to be helping them along the way, is what's amazing about the platform.
Fantastic. Thank you. Mohammed, I think you wanted to say something as well?
Yeah. For me, I'd love to say that the key to engage young people or young learner is that we have to understand their needs and interests and the way they interact with the world. Also, we have to engage them in active learning. We have to encourage them to participate actively in the learning process through discussions, through projects. You know that project-based learning is so important for them. We have to engage them and to let them collaborate with their peers from around the world, which is engaging them in real-world connections. Also, we have to set up clear goals for them, providing continuous feedback, letting them know how they are progressing, who needs help, what they need help with. Through technology integration, and we have to use digital platforms like Quizalize. When it comes to Quizalize, you have to know that our students are very familiar with Quizalize because they love gaming. So such games like Quizalize games can make our learning environment more engaging, interactive, meaningful, and dynamic than before. So the key to engage young learners, I think, in the future is mainly based on gaming. And when it comes to gaming, so we have to say Quizalize is the solution to each and every, the solution to engagement, to motivation, to participation, to active learning. And we as teachers, we would love to make a difference in each and every one of our students. That's all.
Great. So I would,
Yeah.
so this is not only a single key, we have a whole keychain here. I agree with what Mohammed said. I believe that the magic lies in the fact that Quizalize helps in making learning feel meaningful to the kids and connected to their world. I think that this is the thing that we have to focus on. And apart from the personalization, as Carolina said earlier, and because I keep saying that Quizalize is the genie, so technology here is, acts as a genie, not the master. That's the difference, I think.
Yeah.
So we have to focus on that.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect. Jan, did you want to add something to this?
Okay. Okay. I think in Belgium and everywhere, the learning process is the most important thing, the knowledge. We have a program in Belgium, a learning program, which starts in September and which ends in June. So during this period, we have to educate our pupils with the thing it's in the program. But in 2025, with the social media, I think the didactic tools are very important. So I'm using Kami, I'm using videos, pictures, even TikTok related to the subject, of course, book widgets, and also Quizalize. And Mohammed is very great. He's really the great publicity for Quizalize. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you all. That was really insightful, actually. I think earlier adaptive learning was touched upon, and I'd be interested in hearing. But I believe Magdalena, you wanted to say a little bit more about adaptive learning, right?
Well, actually, I'm waiting for learning more, investigate more about adapting learning pathways, and I hope that Quizalize will delve into it.
It is definitely something that we are working on, and we're looking into at the moment.
Because we will have more personalized content, and that will make a huge difference concerning our students' progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Charles's mind is probably going every direction now, trying to figure out what ideas he has at the moment, and he's planning on implementing soon. So watch this space. Some exciting things will be coming in this area. Obviously, you've touched upon how kind of student learning has changed in the last few years, and how due to the environment and due to how the world's changed as well. Do you see any shortfallings of this kind of technology, AI or adaptive learning and things like that? Anything that you think might actually hinder student learning at all?
We said earlier, we referred something concerning the keys, and I said that we have a whole keychain. So we have a combination of technology and empathy as well. Charles referred to the fact that students come to school. Well, actually, they come to learn new things, but they also come to feel heard, to feel cared, and we need empathy. So how to place it? The key will be how to use empathy, relevance, and interactivity. All these things will make the difference.
Okay. No, absolutely. I completely agree with that. It's tailoring the tools and the education towards the students, because it's ever changing, the trajectory in which they're learning and the how their minds work. So we have to adapt it. Like Jan said earlier, is implementing all these small things that they react to and that they react positively to, and ensuring that they stay engaged and motivated in the classroom. And that is basically the point. But what would you say your students respond to more? Is it, like we said just now, relevance and the modern things? Is it interactivity, like being able to play the games or being able to kind of interact with the quizzes and have this this visual interaction? Or is it perhaps autonomy, allowing them to do something on their own?
I have come to believe that is the element of competition that they drives them. You know, they feel competitive, and because they've been exposed to computer games from a very young age, and they've been asking that they come, when are we gonna play? When are we gonna play? Of course, they play, but they don't understand that other things happen at the same time. But competitiveness is something that they are after, and
it's interesting competitive stuff, isn't it? Because like when in the very first version of Quizalize that I built, you know, we did a student leaderboard, and I remember, you know, we took it in the classroom. Of course, most of the kids loved it, but there was one child who was crying at the end because he'd come bottom. And you know, like
games, team games then.
Exactly. So that's why I said we weren't going to do a leaderboard, and we focused on team games. Now, we ultimately did a leaderboard because people were asking for it, but that's why most of our front of class games are whole team games, because we believe that that's how you keep everybody engaged. You know, like whether it's whether it's hoops, you know, which is you can put the children into 2 teams, you can put them into 10 teams now, or goals where they actually playing as 2 teams in a football match. I mean, you know, goals is not one of my favorites, great in football season. But yes, make them play as teams, I think, is really important. Of course, they lose a bit of agency then. That's one of the things we've always struggled with our games and the game design, which is, you know, when they're part of a team, just as in any team, you lose a little bit of personal agency, don't you? And so that is always a bit of a balance, how to get that right. But they do thrive in competition. Actually, I remember, I don't know if it was Carolina or one of her colleagues in Round Rock telling me many years ago that the children were, because they're playing a game, and now the points, the scoring that basket in hoops matters, that actually they care more about getting it right than if they were just doing it in an actual test, because they know, you know, they want to make sure they get the points, and so they're more likely to do their homework because they know they're going to come to the classroom and play the game and they want to win, right? Oh. And it matters more to them than actually just the fundamental whether they get a good score in their test.
Charles, just recently in the classroom, they were playing a soccer game and they were like, come on, man, we got to get all these right, because, you know, you get to kick and then you get to score after a certain amount of them. Like the whole class was like buzzing at the same time when I was in there, when we were reviewing for the STAR assessment that we have here in Texas. So I love that we were reviewing and it was like so passionate, but they were also trying to get everything right, and it was helping to build their scores to do well on that state assessment. So I just wanted to chime in really fast when you were talking about that.
And by the way, we actually, the leaderboard now, we updated it about a month ago. I don't know if you guys noticed, but actually the leaderboard now has teams in the leaderboard. So if you just want to play a really simple game with teams, that is now in the leaderboard too. So you know, keep it simple, play the leaderboard. But if you want to do something rich and sophisticated, you know, go for something like hoops or goals, you know, the sports stuff. But yeah, I'll tell you something. Honestly, you guys don't know how much it means to me to hear you talking so positively and about the impact it has in your classrooms. I mean, like, you know, that's what gets me out of bed every day when I think about the actual impacts and, you know, how we're helping. So I really appreciate all those comments and all those thoughts. It really, and it makes a difference to the whole team. I mean, we don't do this, you know, hopefully we'll one day be a very valuable company and, you know, be able to, I don't know, fly private jets or whatever, but that's not why we do it. We do it because it really matters to us, and hearing your stories about how it works in the classroom and how it's impacting those children's learning is really, really does help us stay motivated and makes us put all our effort in every day.
Yeah, I'd like to add something, Dr. Charles, regarding the leaderboard. When it comes to the leaderboard, you know that we have team versus team. When we choose Team Bahrain versus any team like Brazil, like Argentina, or whatever, when it comes to the end of our game, you can see that you can, even when you, if you watched my videos, my students' videos, you can see it's like a war inside my classroom. They are screaming, they are exciting. Chairs and tables are thrown here and there. Even teachers and the students are coming from other classrooms to my classroom. What is happening here, Muhammad? You are screaming. Your students are throwing every single piece of furniture inside your classroom. I said we are playing Quizalize, and my students, when it comes to the winners, the champion at the end of our game, you know that it seems like, oh, we are the winners, we are the champions, we are the leaders. So they are highly motivated, highly excited, highly thrilled when they made it to the leaderboard, to the podium. So Quizalize, you know that our students have voices, and their voices need to be heard. So thanks to Quizalize, we could empower every single voice to every single student inside our classroom. And this is thanks to Quizalize that make this happen, and a huge success. So me as a teacher, when I see my students playing during the game and they are watching their other teams' screens, just only to check their progress, their performance, their points, they say, oh, we have to do our best. We have to work. You can see that teamwork has been highly increased and developed between teams. They work together. They teach from each other. They learn, and this is what we call personalized learning. They are learning not from their teachers, but from each other. And this couldn't be happen without the amazing platform of Quizalize. It made our classroom environment more dynamic, more meaningful, more attractive than ever.
One thing I hope that the team games help encourage is students helping other students with their learning. Now, we've never been able to test that or get any evidence that that is going on, but that is something that, you know, hopefully you guys do see, you know, that it's you know, like, because they're in teams and because they're playing together, they are more likely to do that peer teaching and peer learning, which again is an incredibly valuable, if you get that to work, that's incredibly valuable and powerful.
And you know that in reality, we have never won teams like Brazil, like Argentina. So my students ask me, teacher, we would love to play Bahrain versus such teams. And when it comes to winning these matches, they say that, oh, we won, and we would love to win in reality, not even in virtual. I said, one day we can do that. Thanks to Quizalize. Yeah, they just only they select the teams. They say that, and this is what I mean by I'd love to try in the future what is called students' choice. I'd love to ask them about the topics they would love to learn about the game mode they would love to try within our classroom. When it comes to Quizalize, which Quizalize game mode you would like to try today, which topic you would love to learn about, then this is what we call student choices, not teacher's choice. So Quizalize has been a magical platform that transforms our traditional classrooms into more fun, more awesome, more enjoyable, and meaningful way.
Well, thank you. It's one of the other actually interesting, good to get your feedback on this, is, I mean, we love some of the other competitors. We love them. We think they're fantastic. So something like Blookit, I don't know if you guys run Blookit in your classroom, is a really wonderful product. The one thing though is, and we try and do this differently, when you look at something like Blookit, is there does seem to be some evidence that Blookit isn't actually helping children progress faster, right? And my theory here, and why we've done things slightly differently with our games, is with Blookit, you get to recycle through the questions indefinitely, right? And so when children are doing it, they don't really mind too much whether they're getting the questions right or wrong to start off with. If they get it wrong, they put the right answer into short-term memory, and then they keep playing the game. But it's just going into short-term memory. They're not really learning stuff. So one of the things we've tried to do in Quizalize is do games where you only get each question once, right? So you have to answer the question right the first time, otherwise, there's no point. And we think that's the right mode to do it. But I'd love to get your feedback on that. I mean, what do you think? Do you see other gaming platforms like Blickit which have slightly different modes as just as powerful or better, or do you not? I find that really interesting.
I would say that Blickit has more playful games, I would say. Kids are more interested in these type of games because they are exposed to that kind of games. They are copies of other games that they used to play. But the educational value of Quizalize is beyond of this world. It's something that is unparalleled. I cannot compare Quizalize with Blickit. My students like Blickit as well, but the data I receive, the mastery mode I love, these are, beyond comparison to me.
Thank you, Magdalene. So in an effort to kind of maintain the structure of the webinar, I've just sent a message in the chat, open it up for the Q&A. And whilst people are actually asking any questions, we'll be able to answer them shortly. So please drop your question in the chat. Charles, would you like to take over and give us a quick demo of Marvelly?
Sure, why don't I do that? So, yes, let me just log into Marvelly. Right. I'm going to show you then, present now, and I'm going to choose the Marvelly tag. Now, I'm already logged into Marvelly. But we actually launched Marvelly initially as a prototype more than 6 months ago, but we haven't really promoted it heavily yet because we're still iterating to really get it to work very, very well. And we think we've now got it working really, really well. So we're about to pull the trigger and start telling people about it a little bit more loudly. But Marvelly, I don't think I can, if I log out, I can go to the homepage. But Marvelly, actually, why don't I do that? Let me log out very quickly and log back in. So, Marvelly is all about getting children to practice speaking, whether it's English, Spanish, French, German, any language in the classroom, because you know how hard it is to get children, if they're learning a language, speaking in the classroom, right? They're embarrassed, they're shy. I mean, I know what I was like when I was learning a language. I struggled to say anything in the classroom. So the idea here is that they can speak to a friendly AI. There's no embarrassment. They can do it as many times as they like, and they get, what's really important is they get really high quality feedback. And there are two things that we do with Marvelly that is different to pretty much all the other of the new speaking apps. There's a whole bunch of new speaking apps. The first is that we are very closely aligned to key language exams, what we call high stakes language exams. So, for example, if you're studying for if your children are studying for IELTS, if I click here and click English, we have scenarios that are specially designed to help children or younger people prepare for IELTS exams. So that's the first thing. The second thing, of course, is that we believe in keeping teachers at the center of everything. So we have a teacher mode, and I can switch into the teacher mode and see my dashboard, and I can assign things to my students and see what they've been doing. So that's the two things that I think make Marvelly really special: the curriculum alignment, the preparation for high stake exams, and the proper teacher integration. For us, teachers are really important, and we do it well. Now, I think there's probably quite a lot of teachers in the webinar who teach English, and they might be from Greece or from Belgium or from anywhere. But obviously, I speak pretty good English, so that wouldn't be a very good demo. So I'm going to demo speaking French, which will be highly embarrassing because I'm terrible at French. But I will share some French. What I should say is that the native language should default to your native browse language. So if you're in Greece, you should find that the UX is in Greek, and then you can click on English and see it. But For me, of course, this is if you're an English teacher, what you're going to see will be the opposite way round to the way that you'd usually be teaching it. Now, for French, we started with the main exams in the UK, as we're a British company, but we're in the process of adding specific new scenarios for CFR and ACTFL, if you know the American system for French and Spanish and German as well. But let's do a quick demo with some foundation level GCSE AQ French, which is what most students in the UK will, the exam most students in the UK will take when they're 16 years old. And so I've chosen the About Your Town scenario. And actually, this particular scenario, we've actually digitized what was actually in the exam. So we've literally taken the released exam papers and we've digitized those scenarios. So this is very, very similar to what they'd actually get to
Décris ta ville ou ton village.
So sorry, I don't know if you heard that because my volume wasn't up. I'm not quite sure. Did you all hear that okay?
Décris ta ville ou ton village.
Yeah, that came through.
Fantastic. So as we start the avatar I'm talking to, and by the way, we don't animate this yet, but we're working on this so you can actually see the person you're talking to animators. But you get to, they start speaking to you. Now I could speak back immediately, but let me just show you a few other things. The first thing I can do is if I want to, as the student, I can see the translation. So if I didn't know, I can click that and see what it says. I can also select particular words here. And see the translation on the right. So if I didn't know what ton village was, I could see that translation over here, and it will translate it from French into English. Your village, obviously, and I can listen to that as well.
Ton village.
And so on. Now, again, if I didn't know what to say, I should say there are tasks here. So I've got to actually complete specific tasks to succeed. But if I didn't know how it says, give one detail about your town or village. But if I didn't know what to say, I can click help me. And it says, you could say, ma ville est petite, mais très jolie, avec beaucoup de jardins publics. And I'm sure the French speakers among you there were very impressed with my French accent. I can see Jan not that impressed, but anyway. And I can hear it if I want.
Ma ville est petite, mais très jolie, avec beaucoup de jardins publics.
I think one of the...
It's like this, yes. Ma ville est petite, mais très jolie, avec beaucoup de jardins publics. Voilà.
Yeah, I think, and one of the really exciting things, of course, is that the text-to-speech engines in AI have improved tremendously over the last few years. So it really does really excellent quality as speech with very authentic accents, I think, and we can actually do different accents. Now, I am deliberately going to say something very, very weak. Ma ville est très grande. Now, it's now processing that, and it will do this for any language you choose, but it will come back. It will take a few seconds. It's actually, so it says my ville est très grande. Now, if this demo goes correctly, it will only give, my grammar is fine and my vocabulary is fine, but it should only give me 1 point, not the 2, because in the GCSE French exam, there you go. So it says close 1 point, and this is really important. So in many speaking apps, it would just say, fantastic, you've done very well, right? I said something which was grammatically correct. By the way, if I'd said it grammatically wrong or used bad vocabulary, it would have told me that too. But what it's actually saying here is that, well, yeah, if you'd actually said that in an exam, it would have been correct, but it would only have got you 1 point. To get 2 points, you need to do something more. So you did a great job mentioning that your city is large, which is a detail about your town. However, it lacks a bit of the richness or specificity that might communicate fully what makes your town unique. Adding more detail could bring your score up to 4 marks. Now, if you look at what we're doing for IELTS, you'll see it's even richer because we're scoring it. If any of you are English teachers and are teaching older children to IELTS, you'll see that we're doing even richer breakdowns against the specific criteria, the 4 criteria that you're doing for getting your IELTS score. We don't do pronunciation yet, so you'll only see it for 3, but we will be adding pronunciation too. So anyway, that's a very quick
Quand est-ce que tu vas en ville?
And I can continue having that conversation with this avatar until I've completed all my tasks. And of course, the beauty is, if you've actually assigned it as a teacher, if I go to teacher mode, obviously I didn't actually assign this as a teacher, but here's just some examples, and I've assigned it to my whole class. use demo data because I haven't actually done this. I can see for each of my students, you know, what they said. This is just some demo data, it's just simulated data because I actually don't have any students or any classes. I'm not a teacher. I'm sad to say. I don't have that privilege. But so here you see some demo data. I can click on each student and I can see the different things they said. And I can see how many points they were given for it in each question. So, you know, again, this allows you as a teacher to assign it very quickly, see where different students are struggling. There's a lot more we want to do here. Actually, one of the key things we want to do here is do an analysis of your whole class, and then use AI to generate you a lesson plan, so that you know you can automatically go in with addressing the whole class, you know, if there are common misconceptions across the whole class, addressing those, but also allowing you to, you know, where to focus for different students. So much more we plan to do here. But even today, I think it's, you know, it's exciting that you can assign these scenarios to your students. They can practice, they can get speaking, they can gain that confidence, they can get real feedback. And then you can see that and you can then choose to, you know, do other things as well. So there you go. There's a quick demo. I hope that was exciting for you guys.
Thank you very much, Charles. That was fantastic. A few other notes about Marvelly. So obviously you went through a lot of the things that it does and just helps students be comfortable and confident learning a new language. I remember when I was in school, I hated sitting up and talking French in front of the classroom because it is awkward. This tool would give students the opportunity to be able to practice in their own time and help them a lot. You can make, as a teacher, those scenarios a lot harder or a lot easier for the students, depending on the level. But overall, yeah, it's a fantastic tool for students. I've been using it to relearn Dutch now because it's getting a little bit rusty. So I've been kind of practicing with it, and it's fantastic how quickly my Dutch improved. Even Jan complimented it earlier. So it's all Marvelly's due. So yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Charles. Now, we are going to be closing up soon. Let me see. Are there any questions at the moment? I believe, what's our GDPR policy? So that's a fantastic question. We'd be happy to share that with you. If you send us an email, we'll be happy to send across any kind of GDPR, DPAs, anything to do with our data protection policy. So please send us an email and we'll share that with you if you like. It's a little bit long enough to get into in the webinar, but great question. But yeah, at the moment, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining and going through this with us. Thank you, obviously, to the panel. Thank you for the viewers from all around the world. It's been fantastic hearing your thoughts, hearing your insights into the classroom and into technology, and how Quizalize has helped you all and has helped your classrooms be more engaged and more active. And hopefully, it's helped them learn a bit quicker and learn a bit better. So I'll pass on to Amy now, who's going to give you some closing thoughts on the webinar, and going to give you a little bit more details about the competition we have and how to join our ambassador community for the next academic year.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, first of all, to all of our speakers and all of our amazing ambassadors. I've been getting to know you all over the past couple of months, and we're really, really lucky to have you on board. And I've just noticed we have so much in common. So I'm a teacher. And I kind of got involved, I'll just tell you quickly about how I kind of got involved with Quizalize and Marvelly in the first place. So I got involved because I was a French teacher, head of French, and I was really, really struggling to get my students to speak, just like Charles mentioned earlier. I was finding that there was only one or two students that were generally really confident, who would just speak all the time, and then a lot of others who were struggling. Charles reached out to me actually on LinkedIn and just said, "Hi, I've got an idea for this product. Are you interested in giving me some feedback?" So I thought, sure, let's jump on a call. And as the product is for students, I thought the best feedback that you can have is from the students themselves. So my students are absolutely fantastic, and they gave me some amazing feedback when I showed it to them in class. things that they loved about it, things they could improve about it. And I shared this with Charles, which then he started. So some of the scaffolding that you see within the app, that is from my students' feedback. We then organize a focus group with them, and the students, once again, it was such an amazing opportunity for them really to have that kind of like a career experience as well, like having a work type webinar with an ed tech company to give their feedback and really feed into the app. And I was really impressed actually with how Charles and Aled, a lead designer, they were amazing with the students and really listened to what they had to say. And I really I think I was just really charmed when I first started speaking to the Zish team, because they're at the core, they're really good people and really do want to help improve our classrooms and really help us as teachers. So I'm gonna stop waffling now because we've only got a couple of minutes left. So I'll talk to you about how you can continue to be involved. So we've got a competition first of all. If you'd like to share about the webinar today, anything you've learned, or if you want to go and try out Marvelly now, go and try out Quizalize now, and then share a post on any kind of social media, and then you just drop that link into the competition, into this competition link, which I think Borken's going to share in the chat in a minute, and we'll also put it in the email after this webinar. If you just share your social media link in that form, and then you can enter the competition to win 6 months premium of Marvelly, 6 months premium of Quizalize, and also a $25 Amazon voucher. We'd also, if you'd like to join these amazing ambassadors in our community with 20 other amazing ambassadors from around the world, please feel free to express your interest. Again, we'll put that link in the chat and send it afterwards. And again, a special discount for you for this webinar only. If you'd like to purchase Marvelly or Quizalize before 4 p.m. UK time on Friday, you can get 20% off. And this is the discount code just here. So JuneWeb20. And again, Bogdan, thanks so much for putting it in the chat. Okay, so I think it's come to the time to close now. Has anyone got any final questions or anything they'd like to say? Maybe any closing words of wisdom? Oh, yeah, Christopher.
Can I go ahead and say something, Amy?
Yeah, go for it, Carolina.
I just want to just say thank you to Charles and the Quizalize team from the bottom of my heart. The last 9 years, you really have helped me grow as an educator and what I can do for my students in the classroom. With Marvelly coming aboard right now, I really feel like as an instructional coach, I can help my teachers and students in the classroom. I can't wait to use it this year. I'm getting my feet wet with it right now and learning about it, but I just see tons of possibility with helping grow these students in their English language learning, but also in their content knowledge with the use of AI in the classroom. So I'm super excited. And I can't wait to see what happens in the classroom because of this new tech tool that you guys have created. And thank you for always listening to teacher feedback and helping grow your brand and your products to even better things that I can use in the classroom with our students.
Thank you, Carolina. And honestly, without your feedback, without your thoughts, without your insight, Quizalize wouldn't be where it is now. So please, by all means, please feel free to share any other bits of knowledge around it, how we can improve, how we can make it better, how we can make it the right tool for teachers and students.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry, I will.
Yeah. And if I could just say, first of all, a big thank you to my team for organising this webinar and for all the help we do. I mean, my team just works so incredibly hard every single day, and I'm incredibly fortunate to have had their support and their help. The other thing I was just going to say is, that for people, anybody on the webinar, the best part of my week is talking to teachers. So don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to jump on a call with me for 15 minutes or half an hour to tell me about a problem you've got. But I love hearing all the good stuff. I love hearing the bad stuff even better, because the good stuff is just nice to hear. The bad stuff we can fix and do something about, right? So if you've got a problem, or if you'd like to see something different in either Quizalize or Marvelly, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I love getting on those calls, and I always learn something really valuable.
Okay, thanks for this great presentation. I wish everybody a very lovely summer. And to Mohamed, you have Mo Salah, but we have Kevin De Bruyne. Bye-bye.
I would also like to express my gratitude to Charles and the team. I'm really, really happy that we've been together for this decade or so. And I'm really grateful because you have changed the way that I teach. You've helped me achieve my school's educational goals, and you help my students thrive. So I am grateful.
So thank you so much for having us today. I'd love to send a special thank you to the amazing team of Quizalize, and a very special thank you goes to Miss Crisilli, who is not with us today, but we have to give her a shout out. We have to give her a huge thank you for Miss Crisilli, and we wish that you were here with us. Also, thank you to each and every one of our attendees, but for them, this couldn't be happen. And of course, our amazing presenters, the amazing Quizalize power users, especially my amazing Quizalize power user friend, Miss Magdalene. She is a Quizalize expert. So you always enrich us with your amazing tips and tricks, your amazing insights, best practices. So we would love to always hear from you about the way how to engage your young people using this amazing platform. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Charles. You are a good listener. We always ask, and you, Dr. Charles, listen. You are a good listener.
Thank you all very much for the kind words. We really appreciate you coming over and joining us here and speaking here. And it's been a pleasure hearing your stories and hearing your kind words. I'm blushing now. I'm sure Charles is as well.
Sorry, and of course, you all are always to come to Egypt, come visit Egypt at any time. And Mr. Yan, you are always welcome to visit Egypt, to visit me in my country, to visit me in my city, to visit Luxor and Aswan, to visit each and every place in our country. So welcome at any time, Mr. Yan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And also, I just saw a note in the chat that somebody asked if it's been recorded. And yes, it has been recorded, and you'll receive the recording in the email after the webinar. So thank you so much.
And then for Retha Dawson as well, a link has been put in the chat for a demo booking. So by all means, please click that link, book a demo with us, and we'll be able to kind of give you some more insights on your question and how I can improve reading and listening proficiency. But thank you for the questions. And we'll make sure all the kind words goes back to Crisil, to Rose, who's our representative in the Asian community. Sorry. We'll make sure the tech team knows about this as well, because they're a massive force behind Quizalize, being able to build all the cool stuff that we're able to show you today. So we'll make sure they'll hear about this as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and hopefully see you soon.
Great. It was nice meeting you all.
Lovely meeting you all as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.